Cyberpunk. We're playing it. I forgot to post a promotions thing because I'm stupid and also rushing and was trying to make sure everyone was here, but one of us isn't present. And I think somebody's in the wrong spot, so I'll put him in the right one. There we go. Okay. So, um, this is the last of the first series of pickup series games for Dark Skies 2078. This one is entitled Rescue Op. Vix, since you're the point of contact that I have as most likely for this interaction, you
Yep.
are at Lizzie's bar, and while there, you are approached by Amelia, who you live with,
Yeah.
and she will come up to you and say, "Hey, I got a fixer I'm working through. I'm paying on the gig. Um, I need I need a crew. Nothing too massive. Um, I got a lead on Nitro. Need to move quick. There's a netrunner by the name of Worm. She's kind of a nuisance around these parts. Has been working with the scavs around here, but apparently she crossed some guy named Alpha. Real big problem, and they've got her caught up north of here, not too far away. Old Tiger Claw haunt, but sounds like scavs have turned it into a cutting den. Um, would rather it go quiet. Don't want Tiger Claws involved. And if we move the scavs out, it'd be better for us to move in rather than them take it over. Got anybody in mind?
Yeah,
Okay.
got a few people.
Well, I tried to reach out to that fixer that we contacted before, Hungry or whatever, but he's busy with some fucking job in the Glen. So I reached out to a fixer named Dakota. She doesn't typically work up here in Watson, but she has been making some moves. And I think she could probably get some people together. But if you got some names, I'll throw them in front of her, and she'll try and reach out to them and talk about it.
Okay.
Morgan.
Yeah, she.
Oh, God.
Sorry. She would just throw out Siege and Morgan.
Well, Morgan would already be on Dakota's desk, which was actually my pivot. So Dakota Smith is a member of the Aldecados. The Andersons Nomad Pack is a pack that is a part of the Aldecados. The Aldecados are not so much just one nomad pack. They're what's known as a nomad nation. There are 7 nations in the world. Well, they're mostly North America and Central America, etc. And the Aldecados are a relatively big one. Dakota has a fixer shop slash garage on, I think it's 67 or whatever, the road that kind of goes right out of Night City to the east. You get a call from her direct, and she'd say, "Hey, you're a scout for the Nomad family, the Andersons. I got your name from Jumbo. I did some work in the past with a guy named Mooney. You heard of him?"
We all miss him.
Yeah, real tragic. Point is, I got a gig in Night City. This girl, member of the Mox, reached out to me. She needs some work done. Real busy work, honestly, but real quiet work. I think a scout could probably help out with this. You game?
Sounds good.
All right, meet her at Lizzie's bar. It's in Kabuki, a little bit north there. And work with the contact's name is Vix.
You got it.
Sounds good. And pay on this isn't going to be too big. Don't really have a lot of grease here on the wheels. It's going to be 500 eddies. And you only get paid if the mission goes successfully. In that, she will explain to you the mission, but she's also kind of like cut paneling. Vix, you kind of give Amelia some contact information. Dakota then calls Riff after calling Morgan, and then calls Siege after calling Riff, and Vix, you will talk to her afterwards. So you're all effectively getting the same information from Dakota in conversation. Just imagine that I'm one person having 4 conversations in chronological order of who I said is getting them when they get them. So she says the following. Girl named Worm, used to work for the Scavs, crossed a guy named Alpha, real big wig in the Scav area. She's a net runner. She's got a lot of information that we would like to get a hold of, specifically regarding an individual who's gone missing named Nitro. Amelia is really after her. She's been looking through other fixers to try and find him, and fortunately for me, I've got some idea as to where that is, so she gave me the job. You folks are going to get paid 500 eddies, 1 night's worth of work. Go into a scav haunt. Don't go crazy berserk with shooting, unless you have to. I don't mind if scavs die, fuck them. But at the same time, we'd rather this be quiet, nice and easy. Only thing you have to do is make sure that Worm, the net runner, contact information is kind of thrown up regarding Worm. If you were at the warehouse where the Cyber Psycho got domed, Vix, you weren't there, but Elmano was, so you were in that game. Riff, you were actually physically there. And I think
Worm got into my eyes, I think.
Yeah, she did mess with you. Correct. She is somewhere around here. Hold on. Yeah.
Was Alpha was the one that Jumbo had mentioned, right?
Yeah. Alpha's apparently the leader of the Scavs. So Worm is actually one of the longer running NPCs we've had for a while. She's been around for a couple of years IRL. Worm was Chad. You recognize Worm. She was the netrunner who had Nina 3 in her scav hunt in Boxville when you first came out there, and the one who basically put you guys in a fucking situation where people were going to die. Or Riff, you were there too, weren't you? No, you weren't. No, different rocker. That was Dolly Glass.
Yep.
Anyway, fun stuff. There was that, and then she was also at the warehouse where Cyber Psycho burst out, and she said, if you want me to help you deal with this asshole, you gotta let me walk. And the crew there said, yeah, as long as we get this asshole alive. So she's been kind of prominently featured a few times. And yeah, her name is spelled Worm as in the dragon, and as you can see just on her body there, she has a dragon tattoo. A girl with a dragon tattoo. Okay. Dakota also says that she's going to be hiring 2 other individuals. Redtail, who is in a state of torpor, and will be here if Foxton shows up, and will not be here if he doesn't. Similar to what I did with Kimmy in that one where her internet exploded. And then an individual who is an NPC, who when she walks into the bar, music playing, and Morrigan and Riff, and Siege and Vix, you've all shown up and you're kind of sitting in like a VIP box. It's a Wednesday, nobody's here partying. It's pretty quiet too because it's like early in the day. Bar isn't even technically open, but the mocks run it so you can get in. But you see a woman come in from the back who Morrigan and Riff recognize immediately. According to the streets, this individual goes by the name Red Megan. According to the contact information that you see, her name is Anastasia, and she walks towards your group, and you would see that on your contact list, according to Dakota, the 5th member or 6th member of your group, depending if Redtail exists or not. It's a Schrodinger's furry, I guess.
Oh my god.
Schrodinger's fox.
Schrodinger's fox, yeah. She's the last member of the crew. But she walks in and she sits down at the bar and kind of looks at Riff and Morrigan, places her cyber hand on her face. We gonna be professional or are we gonna have fucking problems? And
I'm here to get paid.
she's
Siege is still like pulling his new flak out of the plastic.
there's like plastic like sealer on the thing and he's peeling it off.
I literally have paint pens at the ready to graffiti the fuck out of this little.
Thank you, Brett, by the way, for the post on the promotions there. She looks at Morgan We good?
As long as you are.
Yeah. Well, you motherfuckers did kill 2 of our crew. We were doing a job for Dakota that night. Kind of annoying that she would hire you motherfuckers after that whole debacle. But Night City's Night City, and from what it sounds like, you were getting paid. And it sounds like you have intel on this lead, this Nitro girl.
So I did hear it. They're looking for Nitro.
That's right. We're not looking for Nitro specifically. Tonight we're looking for Worm, who's a real cunt, by the way. I fucking
Oh
hate
yeah, I
her.
know. Yeah, she got my eyes last time I met her in a job.
Well, I'd suggest buying some self ice, and she kind of taps
Oh,
her
I
neck.
did.
Oh, good. Smart. Yeah. She's a real piece of work, too. She's actually been working with the scabs for a while. A couple years. So I don't know what's going on, but according to Dakota, she says that she's fucked with the wrong guy on this. Do you guys know anything about Alpha?
A little
Do I know anything
bit.
about Alpha, John?
Huh?
Do I know anything about Alpha, John? I
If
don't
you
imagine
don't.
I do.
If you don't, you don't. If you haven't learned it in game, you don't, yeah.
Okay.
And then
Jumbo mentioned him.
Jumbo, huh? Oh, shit. And she kind of looks over at Morgan. That's why. Yeah, definitely got the look of it. You're an Andersons, huh?
A little bit of a breakaway, but yeah.
Okay. How the fuck do you feel about the Gibsons hightailing it and moving to Dustin? Gonna make your power in Boxville a little weaker.
We'll find a way.
Alright. Well, if we got no rub, then we got a gig to go for. And she'll kind of like saunter out side. She has a car. It is a car she ran away from on the night of your last meeting a month or so ago. But yeah, you recognize it. You remember squatting up on top of it and using it as a firing platform to try and kill them. And she will look at Riff, and I might sound like I'm underwater for a little bit. Apologies, it's just a very small, short time. But she'll look over everybody and kind of gesture. She does have a sedan, so you can fit 5 people comfortably. And I know 2 of you already have bikes, Outrider types, so if you don't want to roll with
Hop
her.
in fast, you think.
Okay.
I don't do vans.
When you hop in, like the first thing you notice, Rick, is like the foot area and like the seat is kind of covered with wrappers of like, you know, microwavable or like takeout food. And she kind of like pushes it all down and kind of like reaches over with her foot across the console and like pushes it down a bit. And she says, "All right, cool." And then sees you kind of get into the back, and with your like gear and stuff, you're kind of taking it the full block of it. She'll look at Riff and kind of smile and say, "I never thought I'd have a rocker boy as famous as you as my passenger princess." And then you folks
It's the only
ride.
way I ride.
As you're driving there, Morrigan, you've got the deets from Dakota. You got the deets as well, Vix from Dakota, and Anastasia's got them as well. You two have them, but you're not drivers, so you're not looking at the maps. You don't really give a fuck, right? Siege is probably only looking at it in context of like checking out the perimeter and trying to kind of like see the engagement area. Which Siege, I'll let you go ahead and roll a tactics roll. Riff, your intelligence is higher than a 2, right?
Oh my god.
It's a 3, baby.
Yeah.
So you haven't
Go.
you haven't like smoked away your memory hard enough for you to not remember something that happened about a month ago. Do you remember the gig where you, Bucket, Mooney kind of came down an alleyway after kind of seeing some tiger claws, saw some scabs, a maelstrom guy, and some weird situation, and then you kind of had to run the fuck out of there after grabbing a sig box and like just chasing it out of there. Mooney got hit by his own car that got stolen, and like all of that shit happened. You
Yeah.
remember that gig?
Yeah.
Well, fuck if it isn't the same fucking alleyway.
So out of character, this is. I just want to make sure I remember right. So they're looking for Nitro, and I have Nitro's contact information, right?
Correct. And you have been trying to raise her, and she has not been able to be contacted. You have.
Gotcha. I was gonna give her like the heads up, but I got.
Yeah, like you can send her a text saying people are looking for you. You can do whatever you want, but every chance that you like, because Hungry wants to find her, Mal wants to find her, Flasher, a bunch of people are trying to find her, but every time you try to catch her, like there's no text, there's no call, she's not responding.
Gotcha.
But yeah, in this instance, like I was saying, you end up in a very familiar alleyway. Now, for parking, Anastasia cannot pull the car in. For bikes, you could weasel your way into this space, or if you prefer to secure your bike somewhere where they're going to be more secure and approach this a bit more tactically, you can. Siege, what did you get on your tactic roll?
20.
Okay, so there's a decent amount of space here. This building, from what you can tell, is a hotel building, and it's still in operation, which means that the scavs are probably not utilizing it for cut-and runs. But from what you can tell, there's like a small little box behind, like a small little area that's in between all of these buildings with kind of open air spacing, which you think would probably serve perfectly as a defensible location for scavs. I'm assuming, as a person of Russian descent, a lot of scavs are similarly so. You've probably had, before you kind of locked in with Militech as hard as you did, you probably had some people who were like not getting you into these gigs, but trying to get you into this kind of shit. And you're just not a fan of this kind of work. And if you're not familiar with scav work, is everybody familiar with scav work? You have an understanding of how this parts is part?
I'm assuming it's short for scavenger, and they
Yes.
act like a bunch of vultures.
Well, it's a little worse than that because they'll actually like go and find their quarry. Scavs are under the belief that parts is parts, dead guy is parts.
Mhm.
So to make parts, one must have dead guy or gal. Get parts, make money. Very simple life mentality. So they will do things like pull tricks on people, like say, "Oh look, I've got this really like lusciously attractive looking joy toy. You want to come back to the hotel and hang with her?" And then they'll body bag that person, take them into the back, and cut them up if they have cyberware they think they can flip.
Or organs that are in good shape.
Yeah, human organs can make a decent amount depending on what you're flipping. Yeah, for sure. Lots of parts. Dead guys parts. Okay, so that space, so we're looking at this building. That space is behind this building. And the funniest part about that situation, Riff, you run away from this building. You went north from here.
Yeah.
Mooney and Bucket went through the building. So they would have information on what's in there and what's on the other side. You have no idea. But when you get here, and I'll put your tokens down, you're, again, a distance away, coming up a hill and then up onto this base, you would see that there are 4 individuals that are kind of like taking a kind of braggadocious posture behind cover, and they're kind of yelling. If you want to get close enough to hear it, you'll be on the map, but are yelling at a group of individuals who, in the dark of night, you can tell are scavs because they have the glowing hologram masks. And again, if you want a different angle as to what this place looks like, there you go. So who wants to get closer? Who wants to make a move in a different direction? How do you want to do this?
He would share with everybody the information that there's probably an open space in the middle of that building that the scavs are holed up in.
I would share with all the people driving vehicles that aren't me, like, hey, last time I was here, I was with Mooney and his car got jacked, so maybe lock your vehicles up or hide them away.
Okay.
Anastasia will kind of nod. She gets out of her car, which looks like an old beater, and when she does so, you see her just like kind of reach down. A cyber tool kind of pops out of her wrist, and she pulls the lug nuts off the tire, pulls the tire off, and just kind of sets it inside the driver's seat. Thanks for the heads up.
I got you. It was funny too because he got hit by his own car. It was crazy.
Closes
Oh,
on.
yeah. You got him back, though.
Got the
Did
car.
get it back. We did. Get
That
it
was a fun game.
back. It was great.
We love this alleyway. So she'll like close and lock her door after putting her front left tire into the vehicle. Anybody going to park their bikes nearby, or do you want to roll up on your bikes into this narrow space?
I would park mine nearby.
Okay, you can go ahead and make a stealth roll to try and conceal objects. I think it's under. I don't know what it's under, but that one.
Awareness.
Awareness. Thank you so much.
You can just take the chains off the bikes.
That is an option, but
oh,
that doesn't stop somebody from stealing everything else.
That's fair.
Her car is a piece of shit. The only reason it's worth anything is because it is a car. So she turned it into a non-functioning car.
Yeah, which means if we got to get out in a hurry, if it's going to take a minute.
She's fine. If she
Alright,
needs to
possible.
chase somebody in a hurry, you've seen her run. Riff and Morrigan. She'll just chase them down on foot.
I know a good way out of here too if we need to run.
100%.
I'll tell my bike to fuck off.
Okay. Where
Oh,
are you sending it?
That's
Where are you sending
I
it?
got.
I mean, what's the furthest way that well, no, I don't want it to be further.
Just, you want to send it back to Lizzie's? It's not terribly far away. I'll show you on the map kind of where we're at. Hold on.
Theoretically, how many rounds of combat is Lizzie's?
Oh, it's going to be, again, if you want it to be in a safe location, it's going to be unacceptable for it to appear in combat. Yeah. Unfortunately, Watson is gang territory. You've got Tiger Claws, you've got Mox. Mox probably won't fuck with it, but then there's also Maelstrom that's made some moves in this area. Sixth Street's kind of finding its way in some spaces. They're trying to get angles on Valentino's, but yeah. So the Mox are located here. I'll shift that back to where it was because I moved it. And we are currently right about, I want to say it was not terribly far away. It was right here. Dang it.
Okay.
so
yeah.
Red make.
I would say it would probably be 1 minute for the bike to get to you, which would be 20 rounds in combat.
That's fair. Yeah, we'll send it back to Mox and fuck off on something else.
Okay, so Vix, your bike doesn't have all the fixings. Again, it was a street modified.
It's a trophy.
Indeed, I mean it's basically the same bike though. But if you want to hide it, you can. You already made that roll, right?
Yeah.
And you gotta hella good. So yeah, you put trash bags over it. You kind of hide it away when no one's looking, and everything seems fine. So then back to the space, you're making your way up. If you wish to kind of get an earshot of what's going on, you'll be on the map and you'll be kind of like right in it when stuff starts to hit the fan. If you don't want to do that, you can kind of hold back and kind of keep your distance.
Red Megan's
obvious-
in charge of this operation, right?
She's not the boss, Vix is.
Oh, okay.
All right. Okay, and we want to get. I'm confused. Are we going after? Are we trying to find Nitro? Or are we trying to find Worm?
Worm.
Trying to find
Worm
one.
has information about where Nitro would be. So
Okay.
Riff has Nitro's contact information, can't get a hold of him. Amelia, who, again, you live with, is
Yeah.
trying to get a hold of Nitro for reasons. She's never explained it to you either. Apparently, something very important to her involves her getting a hold of and getting face to face with Nitro for whatever reason. Worm has information about Nitro according to Dakota. And Dakota basically gave that information to Amelia, who then hired Dakota to hire you, because that's how fixers work.
Okay.
Right.
All right. I would probably try and move closer
Okay.
to overhear what kind of bullshit these.
You can guarantee with your eyes and your just senses that the 4 individuals who are currently yelling are Tiger Claws. One of them says, Bakayara! Tell us where he is! Now! And the guy across the way is like, what the fuck? No, you're not getting in here again. And then I'm going to cut back to asking if people are coming up. Siege, Morgan, Riff. Anastasia will move with you, Vix, kind of like just defiantly walking up the street as well.
Yeah, I'll walk with Vix.
All right.
So, yeah, Siege would be like, you want me to go to the front door, or do you want me to hang back and cover everybody?
Yeah, come on with us. I don't trust these.
Yeah, I just want to pause for a second and just acknowledge, Chad, you've put some work into that accent since last we heard it. And I want to let you know it is shaping up. It's shaping up good.
Yes.
Thanks.
I watched Rocky 3 or whichever one fucking
It's
4.
Terminator plus Rocky.
It's fucking Dolph Lundgren. It's Dolph.
Whoa,
I will break him.
I feel like yes.
Morgan, are you moving up or no?
Obviously,
Again,
we're planning
sky's the
on going
limit.
inside, right?
Yeah, the front door is where we're going, but sky's the limit. Don't have to pay attention to, like, you could find a fire escape or something and make your way up onto one of the roofs on the side buildings. You could, stay back, but because it's kind of at a downhill, you won't be able to get angle. What would you like to do?
Yeah, I'll ask Vix. Do you want me to stay out and guard the outside? Maybe make my way over.
Yeah. Can you go high?
Yeah.
Points up at the building. So Corey, go ahead and roll me an athletics roll, and you'll see Morgan kind of move between like the building on the left and kind of an area kind of further back towards the street where you started at. And based on the roll,
I can instead make an evasion check because I have a perk.
perfection.
I assume this
Parkour.
involves jumping, climbing, or other
Yes.
movement.
100%.
Okay.
Smart
Evasion.
use of perks.
Where is evasion?
It's in fighting.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So,
22.
what you would see, Vix, is very similar to like Samus Aran from the Metroid series. Morgan kind of jumps to one wall, then jumps to the next one, jumps, and bounces off the walls until she's able to kind of like get up on top of the roof and like pull her rifle off of her back. She'll start moving pretty quickly, but then like slow down because the corrugated roof that she's kind of running on has a bit of a clink, clink, clink. So she slowly starts kind of like catwalking towards this air conditioner, and I'll put you there. And then give me a stealth roll just to see if the clinking caused anybody to catch you. Okay, sufficient. So as you walk up, fuck you, you're not coming back in here, says the scab guy. We don't want your business. Get the fuck out of here, Arasaka dog. And then the guy who said, fucking asshole, in Japanese. I'm trying to use the Duolingo I've learned. Yes, I learned how to say
I'm so proud of you.
Good luck, Duolingo.
fucking asshole. No, yeah, it's okay. It's not good. It's just okay. I'm glad that I got a year for free. But this is not an
I
ad.
can name all of the barn animals in Gaelic.
This is not an ad, though. We're only sponsored by Coca-Cola Coffee, which doesn't exist anymore. So, and we're not really. That's a joke. It's a bit. Sorry, Coke. Okay, so as you march up,
If you want to.
Siege, I'm assuming you're taking kind of like a front-facing. You're a brick wall. I'm assuming you're setting the pace for the walk. Is that fair?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to, I guess, stay out of sight, but I want to be ahead of everybody else.
Sure. Okay. So as you approach, this conversation seems to have turned into a heated one, and the tiger claws are starting to kind of brandish weapons. This woman has a thermal katana. This guy here pulls out two pistols and kind of like holds them down, like just badass, like Yakuza style. This guy here kind of drops down low. His eyes kind of flare red, and you see him pull a cyber deck onto his wrist. And then this lady here just is all business. It looks like she's got an assault rifle, and she's kind of like slowly backing away to get to cover as this is kind of turning into heated.
There's two ways this can go. We can either hang back and we can like let them kind of hack at each other and just clean up whoever's left. But also, if they start fighting in the middle of the street, it's going to empty out the building, and we're going to have to fight our way through everybody.
Yep. Just as the scavs are getting ready to like dive back into the building, this girl kind of stops and raises her hand and says, "Wait!" and then kind of looks back over at your group, and then she kind of stands up and kind of walks towards you. "Who the fuck are you?" And the scavs are confused, but you can see one kind of like reach inside of the door and like pull something out that looks very big. But she says, "Who the fuck are you?" when you kind of approach. Vix and Siege, you're up front, so I assume you'd be first to answer.
I just make a rude gesture.
Siege is just like, he's got his helmet on, so you can't see his face, but he just starts like speaking and gesturing in Russian.
She'll kind of look at the Mox and say something in Japanese that sounds derogatory, but then she says,
"Say that to my face.
Right
Say
now,
it to my face."
She looks at you and she says, "I'm saying it to your face. Right now,
Yeah, okay.
Right now, we've got a problem that's bigger than you. Fuck off. Or help."
What problem? What problem is that?
She says, "Or help."
Why would I help you?
Albano.
She kind of scratches her nose.
Fucking this.
"Maybe you help us, we don't come around shooting up your fucking whores this week, huh?"
How many Tiger Claws guys are there?
Or
4.
And who's the person we're looking for is Worm, correct?
Yep. And as you're asking that question and thinking, and your brain is kind of going mile a minute, the scav in the back line that went inside and kind of came out and then kind of approached to the front, this big motherfucker right here, moves out, drops a LMG, which looks very familiar to you, Siege, and you see the bipod extend down and lock into place. "Fuck you, Claws!" Initiative.
And he's... Oh, fuck. Okay, well... I'm going to show that guy how to use one of those.
Oh, holy shit, Riff.
It's actually 29 because of my perk.
Yeah, change it then.
I'm going into the, +1 to hit, +1 damage.
I'm choosing the big guy.
Okay.
It's always 12.
So you, just so you are aware, if that gun goes off, Siege, and you're pretty certain if that gun goes off, this alleyway is going to basically funnel with the cacophony of a defender kind of going full auto, and there's no way the people inside that building are not going to know shit's going on here. So you have a very limited position to make that not be the case. And I'm pretty sure Morgan's the only one who's going to have the opportunity for that to be the case. Small arms fire, not going to be a problem in here. But the defender, it's a bit more of a louder clunk. Regular gunfire, most people are going to forget about it because it's fucking Night City. But they know they have that heater in the fucking doorway, and if it starts going off, they're probably going to be aware of it. But that's something with your tactics roll from before, you're kind of understanding of the situation you're in. And if it is the case that the scabs have that haunt, that's a bee's nest. That's a hornet's nest, rather. Hornets are worse than bees. Riff, you're up.
Yeah. I don't have like any confirmation that we're actually gonna murder these tiger claws yet.
Well, you could go ahead and make it the case that you don't do that by saying, "Hey, we'll fucking help you," or you could say it is the case by saying, "Hey, get fucked," and shooting them. Your call.
I would.
Your gang disagreements can be settled after we get the big gun done, and then I will move up.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say let's work with them, and they'll probably die in the process.
Yeah,
If I jump to here, would I have
Yeah.
partial cover with what that?
Well, you'd have cover with the spot you're next to. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I'll jump over here and then I'll aim at the big gun. I don't think I'm gonna hit with my pistol from this far away, but I'll try.
Okay. I'm going for a aim shot, headshot. 16 meters
Fuck it,
out.
why
That's not
not?
terribly bad for a handgun. I think that puts you in second
Yeah.
category, maybe third. Third. Okay, so
Yeah.
20, and you got a 22. That'll hit. And you said you were headshotting.
If I headshot it, won't hit, but I did say I was.
Okay, so fun part of this is now we're at the point where we add perk bonuses. Do you have any?
I don't think I do with my thing here.
Okay.
No, mine's only if I crit hit.
Okay, and then luck.
I'm out.
Yeah, most of you are. All of you are.
Yeah. I think Foxen might have been the only one that had any.
Yeah, and they apparently word got a hold of him. This is not the music I want, but we'll let it sit for a second as I figure. Oregon, you are up next.
I probably shouldn't aim shot him 30 meters.
Headshot would kill him for sure. He's not wearing any armor on his head.
Yeah, but
And also, you're about 4 stories up, so that's 40 feet. 40 divided by 3 is a number that I don't know.
Sure
I'm asking
is.
you. What is it?
wait.
40 divided by 3.
oh, no.
I'm too tired for this, John.
Look,
13.3.
okay, so 13. I would say that would add another. Yeah, that'd put you in the 50 mark at the diagonal.
Okay, yeah, cool. In that case, yeah, fuck him, headshot.
Right.
23.
He's
And you said
not
50s.
dodging, so yeah, that'll hit. And
Oh,
it'll
cool.
headshot because you have bonuses here, do you not?
Yo,
Yep, it's a headshot, clean. 18 to the head, doubled 36. 35 was his hit point total. So Tektronica, single shot straight through his head, splatters everywhere. He falls to the ground, and the defender kind of like drops to the side. He didn't get his hand around the grip hard enough to actuate the trigger, so clean, dry, and done. Well, clean, not so dry. Brains and blood everywhere. Okay, Morrigan, you take the shot. You can see the two kind of look up, kind of like, what the fuck?
can I stealth and move to the next area? Over?
Yeah. So you parkour over this air conditioner unit and kind of flip over to here. Stealth won't be operationally sound here. It's not D&D. You can't just be like, peekaboo, ha 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 ha, you don't know I'm here. That's not Cyberpunk.
That's rude.
I don't know what
I
you mean.
would-
It
I
works
would
in video
suggest
games.
that it is.
But if you want to get closer, you can flip to the next spot. If you don't, you can just kind of hold your position there.
Nah, that's fine then. I'll
Okay.
just hold.
Vix.
All right, let's worry about the bullshit later. And then let's see how far can I go? I forget how much I moved. 8, 2. All right, she'll move to here. And just be like, don't fucking touch my tech, bitch. And then look over at the main guy and be like, we need to get in.
Okay. As you rush past, the guy who looked badass kind of looks over at you. And kind of like basically accepts your terms. Are you taking a shot?
I am going to. It looks like they're gonna shoot at us. Like they're not going to engage in words with me.
Right.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna take a shot
Okay.
at the front guy there.
Yeah, the scabs are not talkers. Okay, you're just going for body shots. That'll be a hit.
Yeah.
Okay. He takes damage. You got another round coming to you. Go ahead and take another shot.
Oh yeah. There's a note.
Boom, bam, and the second shot, kind of like when you kind of shot, it's kind of like you're like talking to him, and you're like, "We're good, right?" And you kind of like pull and shoot, and then you look over for his response, and he's like, and you're kind of like, you don't know how to feel about it, like you're teaming up with the tiger claws even like temporarily, and you shoot you shoot before you look back, and you're kind of like,
like an involuntary shudder just at the thought of it, and I was like, ah, fuck.
Bullet just buries itself in the fucking ground in front of the guy. Okay. The cool guy, says, "Shoot it!" and then rushes forward with the two guns, pulls them up, and starts shooting straight into this guy, like point blank.
Yeah, whatever.
It looks like the guns he's using are Arasaka. I forget the name of them, but basically they're firing 3-shot bursts into the fucking guy. Let's see, rolling. Yep, and also, yep. So his first shot, like he shoots with like the right hand, rate of fire is just 1, but he consumes 3 bullets with each shot. It's a tech pistol. I forget the name of it. And then it hits the guy in the chest. And then the second one, he kind of moves forward, points it towards his face, and pulls the trigger and blows this guy's head off. Then this lady with her very cool legs, similar to Vix's, hops onto this and then like leaps super far. Her bright red katana just like flaring through the air with like the cool tracer effect, and then she slams down at this guy who just narrowly dodges, and then she kind of brings it across in a horizontal cut, and he kind of catches it with his arm, taking a bit of damage, and it lights his jacket on fire.
Yeah.
Okay. This guy here kind of looks at you and says, "Miss, please get down. I'm going to..." and he's playing with the cyberdeck. Is it okay? Kind of points at your eyes. I use your eyes?
No weird shit.
You see like a no mask, like I don't know if you're familiar with no theater, but like a no mask appear in your hollow, and he's like, "Okay." And then as you kind of look out towards that guy, you can see that there's a line connecting you to him, and the guy's kind of like, playing with his computer, trying to hack that guy. And then he lights on fire again. Like, he is more on fire.
Yes.
And then she, the boss, will kind of keep an eye on Siege, but kind of move to this position, drop down, kind of like take a aim position, stop for a second, and look at Riff and say, "Hey, are you Riff?" Huh. And then she'll kind of like pull the trigger and take a shot at the guy and miss. Unfortunately, the big, bright, burning flame that is that man now, it's very hard to get a good shot at the head. Siege, you're up.
Well, knowing what you said about the light machine gun and the sort of sound that would produce, he's going to opt for... He's got his shield up, and he's going to opt for his heavy SMG. It's a bit more discreet.
Okay.
And I'm just going to auto-fire the dude who's on fire.
And if you got those ballistic shields at like a surplus store, they're basically riot shields. So they have like kind of like a catch in the side for a gun. So as you're kind of like moving forward, it's supposed to be a pistol, but you can set it so that the SMG hits, or in the future the LMG, since you can fire it one-handed, I believe.
Yep, auto-fire.
Okay.
Let's go 19.
18
I
meters.
believe that is one shy.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
No, wait. No,
Unfortunately.
that's it.
Yeah,
the
you need to
plus one
be 6 meters closer, so 3 more squares up, and you'll be in that sweet spot for auto fire. So you kind of and just bullets kind of slam into the wall behind him. Again, he is so on fire. You're trying to like catch him in his legs and his feet, but he's probably doing like a and it's like just missing barely.
As you would.
As you would. I mean, he's on fire. He's going to use his action to not be on fire. He drops to the ground and starts rolling. And then he is going to run away from the lady. But as he does so, the lady's going to spin the katana up. And in that motion kind of catches him in the back. And you see him like reignite. And you see his back jacket like split open. And his back kind of open up. And blood just kind of as he drops to the ground.
Nice.
And then as she does that, she kind of like flicks the blade. The heat kind of cools off of it. The guy with the 2 guns spins around and kind of faces, like just brings his guns up like this, but not like in an angry way, more in like a I'm badass kind of way. Looks at the Mox and says, "You,
He strikes his magic girl pose.
you assholes going in there?"
Yeah.
Siege doesn't say anything. He keeps his shield up. He holsters his heavy SMG and just walks right past them and just secures that LMG.
He
Hell yeah.
takes the moment to kind of like look badass and move towards you. He kind of like brushes his nose with his pistol. And then
Siege does not even acknowledge him.
Careful
Yeah.
there.
as that's happening, she's kind of moving up, and they're kind of looking at Vix, who is the boss of your gig. Keep in mind, Siege. They're kind of like locking in with her. And as you kind of move up, you secure the defender. You would see that it appears to be jam-packed with ammunition it shouldn't have. So we've discussed high-velocity ammunition a couple of times in this game. It is packed with high velocity. It cannot shoot high velocity. If that gun had gone off, it would have fired those bullets, but there was a very high likelihood that that dude's arm broke, that dude's body shattered, unless the cyberware he has in him was sufficient to like deal with that. And in addition to that, it would have melted the barrel after like 3 seconds of, or maybe 6 seconds of shooting.
Yeah.
Like it's not a smart choice, but apparently they have military grade high velocity ammunition inside of a slightly less military but still military grade LMG.
Yeah.
Love that for us.
But to the point, talking to Vix, and also not even on the map, but walking up, Anastasia will kind of look at the Cyber Runner. Kind of, she's got an eye on him, but she hasn't even drawn her pistols. Like you guys were that fast. But he'll say to you, "Well, it looks like you have a pretty decent position and you've got numbers on us, but I think we could take you. I don't want to fight. If you do, we can. But I offer you something better. A deal. You Mox like dealing, right?
Yeah, sometimes.
We want the building back. It was ours. These fucking scavs took it over last year. We want it back. We don't fuck with you. We help you clear it out. We keep it. You do whatever you want with what's inside. You keep the guy who's in charge here alive, and we get to fuck with him. Fair's fair? Anything you want me to say or do to sweeten the deal?"
Okay, out of character, they said get rid of the scavs and make sure the building is occupied, preferably by the mock.
The Mox
did they
don't
say
want this
don't let-
building to fall into Tiger Claw control.
Oh yeah, okay, that's what I thought.
But he's saying he's going to help you go in there and clear the building, him and his 4 apparently badass individuals, if you let him keep the building and the guy who's in charge alive.
The guy in charge being Alpha.
He doesn't say a name right now. Just the guy who's in charge in here.
What's his name?
His name? He's Ripper Duck. Goes by the name of Cutter. Really unoriginal name. Boring.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
With the
To the
name or the
point.
agreement?
The name.
Okay.
The name. Calm down.
Sorry. You gotta. You see him kind of like he's still holding his pistol, so he's doing a lot of this gesturing with pistols, and then he
Like,
kind of
all right.
when he says sorry, he realizes he's still holding pistols, and he kind of slides those into his jacket, pulls out a cigarette, and like lights it with his thumb. So,
Cute.
the girl walks up at this point as you're kind of doing a think, and she looks at you. I don't know you, but I've seen you around with Amelia.
Yeah.
Okay, how about this? All's good. We quarter in a piece. 1 month. No shooting. No bullshit. Streets are streets. We keep to our places. And I get your friend in contact with Wakako. Wakako is a fixer of Night City. She specifically runs Japantown. She's kind of a big deal.
All right.
Okay. Deal's deal. We'll help you deal with this shit.
Yeah.
And we just want the building and the guy.
I don't give a shit about that guy. He can't even come up with a decent name.
The guy who's smoking a cigarette, he says, okay, all right, I'm Kojima. And then the girl will say, Shira. And
Yeah, Vic.
the other two don't give their names. They're just kind of there. But yeah, looks like a net runner, like a melee fighter, kind of a cool guy. And
This is a cool guy, eh?
he's just a
love
cool
it.
guy. Okay. Well, we came here first. If you want us to take point, we can. If you want to go
Yeah.
in first and get your fill of it, that's fine too. However you want to do it.
Siege is already like camped out by the door with like his shield and LMG ready.
They
Some of
both.
the guys like, yeah, we can take point. And Siege just looks kind of like surprised, like, oh.
I mean, if you really want to.
Kojima and Pixel both kind of look over it and then look back at each other, and he got an
I mean, he enjoys this, so like maybe let him go first, and then y'all can.
Sure, fine, absolutely. They will follow in. Morgan, it's not a hard descent down. You can see the air conditioner units, or if you want, you can try and get onto the top of the other building and try and make your way across that to the courtyard that they're heading to. It's going to be an athletics check to jump across. If you fail, you will fall. So, risk, reward. And again, it'll be jumping and stuff, so you can make an evasion roll instead, obviously.
Okay.
You going for it?
We're going. Yeah, probably. Give
Okay.
me a second. Where the fuck? There it is. So we're going to an open courtyard, right? So I can. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so it's a jump across, and then the building is connected to other buildings, but they're connected so closely together that in between all of them, there's like a courtyard that's not connected to the road or anything. Relatively
Okay.
secure, but if you're on top of the building making your way over to it, you would be able to see into the courtyard and have kind of like fish in a barrel style shooting.
Okay, yeah.
And you'll be
That
8
sounds good.
stories up, so you're already at 80 feet, so whatever that is in meters.
21.
Yeah. You want to try it?
Yeah, I'm jumping over.
Okay, evasion 21 will get you just across. DV was 20, so you land on the opposite side, just barely kind of skating across, and then you start kind of like, keeping low and moving across the building. Go ahead and make a perception roll.
Combat glide. You said perception.
Perception.
18.
Okay. You see that there is a guy across the way from you, like on the far side of the building to where you're going, kind of seated there. It looks like he's holding a what appears to be, let me see what it's called. The sniper is a Tektronica SPT 32 Grad, which is also a Tektronica weapon, but it's a power build instead of a tech build like the Nekomata you're using. But it's a pretty powerful sniper rifle. It's a sniper rifle with a power rebuild, is what it is. But yeah, he looks like he's kind of positioned up top and kind of staring down in the courtyard, and it looks like he's wearing the accoutrement of a scav, but no hollow mask. Looks like there are no lights to him at all. He's in stealth.
Okay.
Real quick about that high velocity ammunition.
Yeah.
What does that do other than destroy the gun?
Destroys you.
Great question. So it is as follows: Militech high velocity military grade ammunition. The ammunition type has the same properties as armor piercing ammunition, but deals an additional 5 damage to armor targets with SP 5 or higher. If this ammunition is used in a weapon, firing the weapon requires body 11 or higher unless it is mounted. Additionally, if the ammunition is fired from a weapon that is not built to use it, the weapon malfunctions on a fumble, but the malfunction cannot be reversed as an action, and the weapon requires a weapons tech DV15 check and half the weapon's cost in materials to repair. It doesn't state it in the handout that I gave a while ago, but on repeated firings with auto fire with Militech high velocity military grade ammunition, your number that you fumble on increases by 1.
Okay. He might opt to use that instead of his gun. He has a high enough body to use it. And then it's like, if it does end up, going tits up and exploding in his hand, he'll just toss it and switch to his other one.
Yeah.
So,
it's not going to explode in your hand. It's just going to frag the barrel.
Yeah.
It's going to warp the weapon. It's going to basically be unusable. But it does cut through people a lot prettier than your weapon does.
So that's definitely. Do I need to modify like my profile on my?
We'll just keep it. The gun is exactly the same. The only thing that's going to change is how it affects armor when you're hitting it. And then also, we're also going to look at your rolls a little different as you roll throughout.
I got you. And I guess one last thing before we breach and start moving through the building, he's gonna check these scavs.
Yeah,
they got any drugs on them?
No. Unfortunately, it seems like they're the unpartying folks. The guy who died last, the one who got katanaed, has a Budget Arms Carnage, which is a big shotgun. The leader guy had a pair of Wonder Nines, so just cheap 9mm pistols, light handguns. He wasn't going to make it very long. And then the Constitutional Arms Defender guy. It looks like he has a set of patchwork armor. His head's gone, but his chest plate, the patchwork armor there, looks like it's an amalgam of different pieces. But you would recognize that it looks like the chest, like just the chest portion, looks like it's actually Metal Gear. So the guy was very heavily armored on the chest. You don't think you can scavenge it or salvage it here. It would definitely take a little while to pull it apart.
And then I would only have like one piece, and then I would need
you'd have
to
the one
pull
piece,
together.
right? So the one piece is real.
Oh my goodness.
So Morgan, you are not on this map. The others are. Riff. Yeah. And why am I? Okay. And then I'm moving you to the map. And we go. Oh, you can see the whole thing.
Yeah. We exited initiative, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Well, hopefully nobody got too crazy in imaging of that. So when you enter in, the first thing that you see on the right side of the door, kind of entering in, is a bag. And if you kind of like poke at it with the barrel of the gun and kind of look inside. It looks like there's one more box of ammunition inside of it, and it looks like it has the Militech logo, so you're pretty sure it's another box that has been loaded with high velocity. The door on the right looks like it goes into a stairwell, and just beyond that, you can see there's an elevator access point there on the right. On the left side, there's a hallway. There's really not a lot of sound in this space when you get in. It does sound like there's a lot of like talking and kind of like stuff happening to the west. There's a door on the far side, and it sounds too like there's like an ambient kind of just grinding sound. And Riff, I would like for you to make a roll at this moment. And the roll that I want you to make, Riff, has to do with education. And it's called... Oh my god. Why did I... Oh no, sorry. It's awareness. Concentration.
At a 10.
Okay. So you scratch your head, and that whirring sound sounds so familiar. Do you remember the time you were in a basement out in Santo Domingo with a bunch of folks?
Yeah, is that the one where we had to pick up the case?
You had to pick up that laptop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember what was in the room before that?
I think it was the cryopod or the grinder.
The grinder. That's what it sounds like.
I'll let the party know. They probably got a grinder up here to grind people up in.
It sounds like it's coming from the south. So, like, that hallway probably leads to wherever the source of that grinding sound is coming from.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'll point that out.
Yep, the direction you want to go, if you're going for the courtyard, would be to the west, and you'd just be going right through that door and heading in. But if you want to explore the interior, you're welcome to do so. I just need to know what you want to do. Let's go ahead and start with Vic, since you're the boss. Where are you going?
I would let the Tiger Claws go ahead
Okay.
with Siege.
Okay. Then we'll go to Siege then. Siege, where are you going? Where's your...
He would. It's basically like he's doing like very technical, like reaching clear movements, like doors and corners. And so as soon as he moves in and the initial entryway is clear, whoever is up there with him, he would indicate that towards the middle of the building where he said they'd be, where he presumes they're going to be holed up and defending themselves.
Okay.
So he would indicate that that's the direction he's moving and that's the direction they should move.
And Vix, you kind of look at the Tiger Claws and say, if you want to move ahead, and Siege is kind of like moving forward, they'll kind of like have a quick conversation in Japanese, which again, you don't understand. And then the Netrunner kind of looks at you guys and says, good luck. And we'll move into this room and head towards the stairs. Do you ask where he's going? Or do you just let it be? Like, don't ask questions. Okay. We like that
He's gonna do
professionalism.
his weird techie shit.
Well,
Yeah, we could
Netrunner
wait
shit,
until
but yeah.
Jake starts setting up the place and then just ambush the the scabs as they start funneling into the building.
Could try and use it as a joke. But again, we'll see how it goes. If you want to move forward, the door on the other side is closed.
The door in the western direction, you said?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he would move to the door and
Okay.
then kind of take a listen, see if he can hear anything on the other side.
As you pass this screen, it pops and you hear a voice say, hello, welcome to the hotel. Can I get you a room? Are you looking for a room? And you'd see a guy who, it looks like he's on like a Zoom call, kind of looking at you and go, do you need a room? Do you need a room? And the guy in question, it looks like he's wearing like a hoodie, and he's got like a yellow shirt with like a black X on it, and he just looks like a guy. He just looks like a guy. Riff, did you ever run with Guinea?
Not as Riff, I didn't.
Not as Riff. Okay, cool. All right. No, yeah, you did. You were there when he died.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Hell, you were probably with this guy, because this guy right here, who you see, appears to be one of the Nadruckers. He apparently is currently working as the clerk for admissions into this hotel. But yeah, you recognize him from a distance, but Siege, you kind of see this guy appear on the screen and he's talking to you. Do you need a room?
Siege gets really close, and he just goes like this.
Oh, he says, camera, it's on the right side. So basically, you just saw your shoulder. It was like this. You did this. You were like, but then you kind of like, and then he goes, "Oh, okay, yeah, great." And then
he
it switches back. It flips up an advertisement, and like the sound is like, "Oh, it's huge!" And then it's the XXL burrito. Okay.
Yeah, he pauses and he watches the advertisement, and then he says, "After."
Okay. Cutting from you, Siege, you make your way to the west. You're not planning on going into the side rooms. You were concerned about the job at hand, possibly using this as a funnel. Okay, if you do that, then Anastasia will move up with you, as will the Tiger Claws that remain. And then Riff and Vix will get back to you here in a second. I'm going to go ahead and just clip you forward. Yeah, that's perfect. You did it on your own. I'm going to deal with you two here in a second. Back up on the roof. Guy. What's the plan?
How far away is he?
So he's not terribly far away, but you're pretty sure that if you shoot up on this roof, you're close enough to the overspill that it'll be heard. And if you hit him wrong, he will fall in, and then they will be aware of your presence.
I guess the play is to try to stealth over to him and double stab him.
Go ahead and make a stealth roll. And what weapon are you brandishing when you come?
I'll put the rifle in my back, and then when I get there, we'll deploy the blades.
Okay. Mage's blades, gotcha. Okay. He doesn't seem to be caught. He doesn't seem to catch you. You see that he's smoking a cigarette and kind of like tapping his foot. He's seated kind of like on his butt with his legs kind of up and like he's tapping his foot, smoking a cigarette, kind of looking down. And you get right behind him. The blades come out. He doesn't seem to notice the sound of them. And you don't need to roll. More of a cinematic situation. You catch him unawares and you just put the blades directly into his neck, both of them cleanly moving through. There's a moment where you kind of hear like a and his cigarette drops to the ground, and then the blades snap back into your wrists or your forearms, and he lays on the ground dead, his sniper rifle just near him.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Okay. Yeah, you don't have much room to carry it, like on your back or anything. It doesn't look like it has a sling or anything, so if you want to sling your rifle and take and use his as the primary, that would probably be the play.
Yeah, fuck it, use their ammo.
Yeah. Make this a costless gig. Okay, so back downstairs, and I'll explain what you're seeing here as you're kind of looking over the edge in a moment, Morgan. But Vix and Riff, what are you two doing? Again, you saw the Nadrucker on the screen there. You're pretty sure he's somewhere inside of this building. And then you would have seen those individuals kind of move towards the western wall as they get ready to like exit. And
just so I'm remembering, we know where we have to go to get to Worm, right? Like we know what room we're going to.
You're not going to a room. You're going outside into the courtyard.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, they're clearing the building. Okay, I gotcha.
No. The Netrunner is going to do something totally different. Nobody asked what he's doing.
Yeah, no.
The Tiger Claws want one guy, and he's somewhere in here, and they're going with you to kill all the scabs.
Gotcha.
That's what they signed on for. Murder scabs. Don't kill this one guy, and they showed you a picture of the guy. Not important. I will point out the guy when you see him on token board. And they will help you find the person you're looking for, kill all the scabs. Once the building's clear, Tiger Claws get it. They promise a month's worth of peace between Tiger Claws and the Mox for the transaction. And they're going to give Wakako's contact information to Amelia, who is the Mox's. They don't have a fixer. They have a girl who kind of like hangs with fixers, and she's got some pretty cool fixers on her Rolodex already. She's got Hungry, she's got Flasher, and those are the ones that are kind of lame. Just kidding. Sorry, Joe. Then you've got Rogue, at the afterlife she hangs with, Dakota, who you saw, like, yeah, she's got some pretty big people on her Rolodex already, but Wakako's a get. That's a pretty big get. Especially since the Mox don't fuck with the Tiger Claws and vice versa.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay.
So do you two want to check out this space at all, or do you want to just kind of move on and help do the breach and clear that we're about to do?
I guess let's move on and do the breach and clear. I was just going to give the Nadworker guy a heads up if they were going to murder everyone in here, but if they're not, then I'll go on ahead.
Yeah, no, the screen will pop the second you pass by it, and he goes, "You want to? Oh, are you with them?" He says. He goes,
Yeah, I
"Hey,
am.
don't I know you?"
Yeah, I used to work with Guinea a lot.
Yeah. Shit, man. All of us got left shoreside. We've been looking for work. Well, good seeing you. I hope everything worked out for you.
You too, bud. Have a good life.
Okay, then do you tell him?
Yeah, I let him know that Tiger Claws were taking over the building.
You hear a door open in the southern hall. You see the guy come out. He kind of looks at you and he goes, "Okay, where should I go?"
I don't know, man. Wherever you think you need to go.
Anybody you want to try and like connect him with, like send him to? Like, is there anybody in your mind who you think would be able to help him out? Like a guy who's down on his
I would
luck.
send him to probably Hungry.
Okay, you give him Hungry's contact information and address, and he goes, "Oh hell yeah, okay, yeah." He helped some of my cousins a month ago. Thanks, man. And he'll kind of go out the door. It looks like he's kind of like heading out and totally chill and leaves.
Steps over the carnage.
Yeah. He probably does the same thing that Siege did, and he goes through their pockets.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Okay. So for the breach and clear, it's going to be a situation where I believe the Katana Girl and Siege are going to be going first. Anastasia will kind of move up behind Siege and say, "I don't know you from these fuckers, and I trust you half as much." She says that she places her hand on your shoulder, and when she does that, you kind of go, "Wait, what?" And you look at her and you realize that she's in tactical position for a door breach, a la military school, like Militech, like training. And she's dropped her pistol down. She has her hand on your shoulder. She's ready to move in and check your corners. And you're just like, "Who the fuck are you?"
Well, like I said, I was going to listen at the door, so I want to take a listen before I kick it down.
It's basically you're getting echoes and like sound, and it sounds like there's probably more people than there are. And if you do that, if she kind of like switch, and she'll kind of like just for a second, you can go first. I swear. Do you swap with her?
That's fine. Yep.
Yeah. When you swap, the Katana Girl's kind of looking like impatiently, and she has like the same kind of like legs that Vix does, except hers are like kind of points instead of like rubber boots at the bottom. And she starts tapping her foot. You can hear like a clink, 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 clink. She's just kind of like waiting impatiently because she wants to get out there. Anastasia takes to the door and very quietly opens the door. She then raises her hand up, and you see her interface plug, the personal link, pop out and reach around the door. And she kind of like, her eyes go red. Looks like, and then I'm going to move us to the other map. As Morrigan also gets a look at the above. Bear with me here. Morrigan, you would be about here on the roof. And again, they're not there yet. Just moving them off map for now. And I'll do the same with Riff. Do the same with, but Siege, you kind of get a request for like a personal link connect, like remote connect. She's wanting to connect so you can see what she's seeing.
Sure.
And bear with me here. Who else am I missing? Vix. And then her. And as you're kind of looking at the space, she says we've got 3 by that fire pit. I'm guessing 1 over on the right side door. That door that's open doesn't look like it has anything. Looks like a person on the other side of that barricade up ahead. Probably some people in those buildings on the left side. You breach in. I'll take to the right. You take to the left. Deal with the flak. She looks over at the katana girl as her eyes kind of flare away from the red, and she snaps her interface back in and says, "You go as far forward as you can and get to the other side of that wall, miss. And you just cut them up." And she goes, "Count on it." And then the others will say, "We'll try and hold the door. Doesn't look like this is going to be a funnable situation, although a good suggestion. I doubt they would come this way. They look like they have escapes in other spots." And Morgan, you're up above, and you're hearing this. You're not seeing the image, though, because Anastasia would have holo connected with you when the gig started. Do you chime in?
Yeah, I'll let them know the.
You'd be able
You
to see
said
these
she
guys
said-
back here
Yeah,
that they can't see, as well as this guy.
yeah.
Because from their angle where they're entering in, they can't really get an eye on those. They can kind of see this one, but these assholes, they can't see at all.
Okay, yeah. I'll give them the exact like locations of these
And I
guys in the back.
think we have another fun handout.
So she said, you take care of the flak. I'm assuming that means there's somebody there who's like heavily armored.
Yeah, so there's guys in the there's somebody in the back. What she means is like that way. Deal with the stuff in the back line. When flak can mean like, pressing through something, but it can also mean like a vanguard or like a back position.
I got you. So what, she wants me to go right and take care of
She's
here.
gonna go right. You're gonna go left, and you're just gonna shoot everything like in that angle. Like you're basically gonna be firing from this angle, like so.
Got you.
And she's gonna take to the right and try and get inside of this box to see who the fuck's in here. And then you
Okay,
guys are gonna
I got
worry
you.
about these doors.
Yeah, so I'll just basically move in this general direction and start shooting people and just keep moving.
And then you mentioned your position. Anastasia will say, "Okay, we'll let you know when we're about to breach." And she'll kind of pull back, switching back with Siege and allowing for Katana Girl to kind of take position.
So real quick, of these three people by the fire, which one looks the most, I guess, like
They
heavily
basically
armored?
look the same. There's two of them that look almost identical, like they're twins or some shit. And then there's another guy who's just there.
Okay, so none of them look like particularly dangerous.
They look like scabs.
Okay. So we'll just and then he's like, cool, they rearrange their positions again, and then he kind of looks back and he says, "Everyone ready?"
Yeah.
And then he shoves the door open and starts by shooting this guy as he moves this direction.
We're going to roll initiative. I know it's not super important, but it is going to have a handle as to how we kind of move. Can you see your tokens on the other side of the black wall or no?
It's always there.
Rift, you can see your token?
I can't see my token, but I can click on it.
Oh, okay. How about you, Magpie? Can you click on your token? It should be the second red bar on the black side.
Mm-hmm.
If you can select your token and roll initiative, that would be great. Awesome, awesome. Tiger Claws are still on 14. We'll use Sword Girl as our indicator. Alright. And then Scavs are still going on 10. We'll use the most scav looking one for that. Alright. Descending. Okay. So let me explain why initiative is rolled and why the motion's happening here. When you breach, you are the first one out. But some people may be more ready than you and may be like wasting a turn kind of waiting for that moment. Do you understand? Basically, some people are going to be quicker on the pickup, but they have to wait for you. Case in point, Vix, the door opens. There's really no room for you to press through with everybody in the way, and you really don't have any lines of sight from this angle as the doors opened. You're basically kind of in the box, in the back, kind of waiting for everybody to move out and do shit. Unless you can think of something you want to try to do or something crazy, or, there is space above them, but not a lot. Nothing? Magpie?
Mhm.
Okay.
No,
Riff,
sorry.
you're up.
Yeah, I don't think I can do anything here.
Similarly. Okay. Okay. Morgan, you've selected the guy in the back. This guy here. Right?
Hold on. Yeah, that one.
Okay. And the door is opened. You would hear the door open, so you know it's go time. Do you want to lead with a shot, or do you want to wait till people start engaging?
I'll pull a shot off. That way they'll possibly like turn around and get distracted.
Okay. Isosceles triangling again. We would say that you. We said you were 30 meters up. We're going to go ahead and add another solid 30 to that. You're 60 to 70 meters away from this individual.
Okay. Still on that 50 to 100. Okay.
Yeah, you're not outside of 100 yet.
Yeah, so we're gonna.
Well, you're. Yeah,
we're gonna
80
do
feet up, right?
I don't remember how far you said this thing was.
It was in 30 meters. Yeah, it's fine. Go ahead, take the shot.
Okay.
You're within that 51
Aim shot,
to
right,
100 sweet spot. You said headshot?
Yeah.
Okay, and what's your penalty with all of your bonuses going to be?
So it's -8 for headshot, right? Normally.
Yeah, normally.
And then I have, where is it? +5. And I think that so there's definitely a +5, but I'm not in the three furthest, so I don't have another one there. Isn't the is their weapon anything special different than mine?
Their weapon? It's a standard
rebuild?
sniper rifle with a power rebuild, so it doesn't do like the tech shit. That's all it doesn't do.
Okay, yeah. Then yeah, it should be good. Just +5, so -3 instead of 8.
So 20 will hit. Okay. And 19 will scoop his head clean off. So yeah, boom. As it hits, like you kind of fire the shot. The Nekomata doesn't have like a manual action, and you kind of like, for a second, kind of, oh, and you kind of feel like the first time you shot a rifle, you kind of pull the bolt, releasing the the casing, and like load the next one as you kind of like slowly move towards the next target. But it's like this really weird kind of like nostalgic moment because it's been so long since you've had the Nekomata.
Smells of gunpowder.
Yeah. It's like it's like interesting. It's like a nostalgia thing. Like if you've ever been a smoker and then not smoked for a long time and then smoked again, it's a very similar vibe, I would suppose. The claws rush in, so she is going to run onto this, jump off of it, rush past it, and as she's moving, she's like dropping the katana down and like running on her little like blade feet. You can actually see the blade kind of like being used as like a third foot, and then she kind of rushes forward and like spins and cuts at this individual. She misses with her first attack because of the evasion. Magpie's falling asleep. Magpie falling asleep. And we'll hit with a second. Doing a meager 14 damage. And on fire. Siege, you're up. Poor girl. Okay. Siege, you're up.
Yep. He kind of moves in, comes to the right, gets to about here, and he's going to shoot this guy, auto fire.
To the left, but yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
No worries. This guy here, or this lady here?
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
And this is with the defender that has the high velocity ammo.
You betcha.
Come on now. There we go.
So that's going to get all of your 5 in. So 5 times 5 is 25.
It does an extra 5, I'm assuming, because of... Does he have light armor, Jack?
Crit. Yeah, right, correct. So it'll be a total of 5 times 5 is 25 and then 30. And she does not. So 30 will actually kill her on the nose. You kind of drop down kind of normal firing position, and as you start to shoot, the very first couple bullets that like fall out of the barrel cause you to kind of like stop for a second and drop the right boot and like slam it into the dirt. You actually push against that door and that wall there, and you're kind of like as the bullets like kick a lot hotter than you were expecting initially. But you'd manage to, like, the second that first bullet hits, keep the barrel down and just blast her through. She drops to the ground bleeding, and the others are kind of like scrambling for any semblance of safety, which they don't have anymore. It'll go to them, and they start yelling in Russian, which you understand. A lot of cursing and "fucking kill that asshole." Who the fuck let this bitch in? From across the wall. This person moves to here.
He responds in Russian by saying, "I'm the devil."
This person moves to here. For you, Morrigan, just so you understand, they are behind that storage container and are kind of using it as cover. They pop out, and they are kind of looking around with a pistol, and they look up. Because you fired the big gun, and it kind of... they look up at you, still a bit of smoke kind of wafting from the barrel, and kind of look up at you, raises the pistol up, and just starts firing. And you're a smart cookie. You understand that the handgun is shooting up, and it's just like catching the concrete beneath you like 10 to 15 feet below. Bullets are getting nowhere near you. You think you hear one kind of like on its downward trajectory from going at like its highest velocity and then kind of like arcing past you, and you're just like, all right. Cool. This person will, in the fight with the lady, be on fire. She'll take 4 to start because the fire, and then she's going to try and shoot the sword girl with her pistol. And from your perspective, Siege, and also Morrigan, you two watch as she kind of raises the sword in front of her, and as this girl with like this handheld SMG is just like shooting all over the place, she just like catches the bullets with her sword. It's like some badass shit. This guy comes off the wall, which was a guy you did not spot before, Siege, and comes up behind the the sword girl as she's doing that, clips one, and she will dodge it. No bullet ricochets though. And then this door will open. Or this door is already open. You would hear somebody coming up behind you. Siege.
Worst mistake he ever made.
And as you kind of like look over and you just said you're the devil, you see a pistol kind of being pushed through the door at you. And I'm going to take a shot at your head. You have evasion. But it's probably safer with your negatives to just let it go for a static shot at, right?
I mean, my negative is only... Wait, let me see. That was
fighting. You put your armor back on, so it's negative force again.
Well, I got the perk that reduces it to -2.
Oh, cool. Yeah, then roll evasion. I got a total of 24. Okay, yeah, I got you. I still got you. So it's a headshot. It's only going to do 17 points of damage.
Does the shield take any of that?
So, because of the way cover works, you're kind of facing off in that direction. Since he's catching you with stealth, like you didn't really know he was there.
That's fine.
He's catching you unaware, so yeah, you can't interpose the shield immediately. He blasts you in the back of the head. You kind of move and kind of try to move, but it still kind of hits the kind of array on the helmet and kind of gets through. You can kind of feel a little bit of like particulate like scratch into your head. I think you took 2 damage, so it'll double into 4. Any damage that gets in, it does it twice, and then the armor on the head will ablate by 1.
Okay, that's fine. I can live with 4 damage.
Despite that, all of the shooting, all of the stuff that's happening, you hear as loud as a bell, and you're the only one that catches it. Maybe this sword girl catches it, but you don't know. You for certain do. You hear a very loud, like a metal sound of like a lock or a bar being put in place over here on this door. All right.
I'm sorry, which one?
This one right here.
Okay. Well,
whatever's in there, just lock the door.
That's fine.
Vix, you are up. If you are up, Magpie, I'm sorry, you look tired. I'm sorry, but thank.
It was a long week last week.
It's okay. It's okay. You're here. This is the last of the series, and I appreciate you showing up for it. So you are on the board, and you can move your
Yeah.
speed, and you can do whatever you like. Looks like these assholes are getting shot by Siege. If you want to go help in that, there's an asshole who's coming up behind Siege trying to fight him. There's this guy who's trying to fight Sword Girl. However you want to do it.
I'm gonna come here.
Okay.
I want to shoot this guy in the face.
Okay, so he's currently
good roll.
operating behind that door, so that means he has thin cover. If you want to get around it, 5, 10, or 1, 2, 3, 4, you could actually rush into the room with him if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so 1, 2, 3, you'd be here. So you kind of just push past the door, kind of the door that Siege bumped into is kind of mounted in place by his foot, power sliding into it like a doorstop from hell, and then you kind of whoosh right past and are inside. Pistol, monowire, how are we going?
We are going pistol, and I have Rio Bravo,
Yep.
so that is a +3.
And scabs notoriously are not wearing hats. He
Oh,
is
man.
point blank. You needed a 13. +3 will get you to an 11, even with a fumble. But that'll miss. So you kind of rush in. As you kind of expect the door to kind of open a little bit more, but Siege kind of blocks it. It kind of creates this, like, you got to do a little bit of a...
Back.
Yeah, and then you kind of come in
Yeah.
and shoot, and he's kind of, like, had enough time to, like, expect and duck. Okay.
Alright.
Riff, you are... Oh, no, you get 2 shots with Militech M10A, yeah.
Oh hell yeah!
Now that one will work. So
22.
bang, and then point down, bang. That one hits him in the head. He'll take 22 to the head. His head doesn't explode. You put a solid shot right into his head, and he kind of like falls back, and then kind of snaps his head up, and through the glowing mask, you can see blood and like bright red, like hollow color. Almost as if the hologram mask was damaged in some way and is now showing like an error message across his face.
So I got a question. If it doubles the damage she rolled, would it double the 6s?
Oh, she should roll another or 2d6 actually. And no, it doesn't double the dice numbers.
Okay.
Like it just one more, because Rio Bravo adds 1 and shooting somebody in the head adds 1. So 8 double is 16, which was actually be enough to get him in his 35. So he kind of looks up at you, the error message, and then you can see the hologram like disappear. And you see that his eye's been blown out. There's a massive hole out of the back of his head. He falls to the ground dead.
Yeah.
Riff.
Yeah, I haven't got to use the perk yet, and I really would like to use it before the, end of this. So Riff is going to run up to here.
Go ahead. You got your map.
And then I'm going to look to Siege and be like, kill him faster, and I'm going to use my perk that gives him an extra action on his turn.
Okay.
Oh hell yeah!
Siege, you have an extra action during your turn. Now,
Beautiful.
I want to make sure that we express something very, very, very important here. When we have extra actions in our game through Sandeva stands, through actions that politicians give you, etc., your rate of fire for that second action is always 1. So if you auto fire, you can auto fire again on the second action. Auto fire is fine. But if you're firing a weapon that has a rate of fire of more than 1, that second action will only ever shoot 1 extra round. Do you understand? Okay.
Yep.
So Riff, solid move. Morgan, you are next on the docket. It looks like they're handling... Oh, sorry. I forgot on initiative very low, because I keep on forgetting to add her to the tracker. And I hate that I keep doing that. She's very low on the initiative. Intentionally so. She's now on the docket and is going right after the scabs. But she would have gone in to here. And they would have came in... I'll deal with them shooting in a second. I think that's fine. But she's going to open this door and enter in. And you can hear yelling coming from over there. It doesn't sound like any shooting happens in that box. I'm going to do my Tiger Claw shooting, because I forgot to pull them out and do that. They're going to focus fire at this guy. Unfortunately, the assault rifle sucks here, so she misses. with her auto fire, and then the other two. Oh, he's not supposed to be here. It's just these two. So the guy with the pistols will shoot at him. He's going to move up and do it. And similarly to what he did outside, it looks like he's going to shoot the guy in the chest with a 3-shot burst, put it toward their face, and 3-shot burst, and blow their head off.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it looks like Kojima's packing a punch. So then Morrigan, sorry, go ahead, it's your turn.
Alright, we're going to ricochet a shot off this back wall into this guy.
Okay.
Not gonna aim, just gonna use the ricochet.
Well, if you take the aim, it ignores the ricochet penalty.
Okay.
Yeah. So if
So
you
it
want to
would just be
ricochet an
the
aim
aim.
shot, you can.
Okay.
Yeah, if you
Yeah,
read it, it
that
says
would-
if you take the aim shot, it says you ignore the ricochet penalty.
Does it? I'm basing it off like a different gun anyway.
Hold on. So power rebuild. I'm gonna read it with you folks so we can make sure we got it right for sure. Power rebuild. When performing such a ricochet shot, user takes a -4 penalty to their attack. If making an aim shot, the user ignores the -4 ricochet penalty and instead applies the aim shot penalty only. So you can ricochet aim shots, no probs.
Okay. That's good.
Hell
to
yeah.
know.
So basically, you're going to be attacking with the same benefit you had before, bonus-wise, and you're going to be bouncing it off that concrete wall. Basically, it's going to hit high and then drop down low into him, his head even.
Okay. Yeah.
Go ahead and take the shot. Jesus Christ. So I don't think you'll effectively have a -3 to the roll. So I don't think that hits. The DV is 15, and you would have gotten a 14. So you missed by 2.
Oh damn, that sucks.
Any chance we have rocker? We don't have any.
We have a rocket blade, but there's
No,
no luck
sadly.
at all in this group. Yeah. So you hit, and then you watch it kind of explode, like on the other side, like a massive just explosion of dirt. And you see him kind of like peek out after darting for cover. You're like, fucker. And clunk, you kind of look down at the weapon and chamber the next round, and I need to double check. Rod, sniper, cyberpunk, ammunition count. 4 rounds. There's 2 left in the box.
Cool.
Siege. You'll be going after the tiger claws. This guy rushes forward. He's going to shoot. She is going to kind of move around to this cover here, and then she's going to take a shot here.
Wait, didn't they just go? They killed that guy.
Now, you didn't go on the first turn.
Oh, okay.
This sequence should have been Siege and the Sword Girl going out, and then they should have came out right after that, but I dum-dummed, so I just went back and just did it. Bang, bang. She's going to miss again, man. She's doing horrible with her Arasaka rifle. And then this guy, this time he misses his quarry. Alright. Siege. Seeing the situation, it looks like there's a crossfire here.
Mhm.
But you would also see that the sword... Oh, the sword girl has to go. Hold on. She's going to dart to here. And she's going to cut on her burning guy, who will roll evasion to counter. She catches him with a critical injury. Somebody roll a 2d6 real quick.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think that's going to be a dismembered hand. So kind of cuts his hand off, and just more fire kind of laces up his hand or his arm. He's not having a good time, and is very on fire. And she seems to have moved Siege in a way that she's now in cover. So if you were to fire at these two assholes, she wouldn't be in line of fire for it.
Okay.
This guy, on the other hand, doesn't seem to have been as keen. If you shoot through that guy, there's a chance that it backfires through him.
It's okay. I'll probably do some moving and shooting. So Siege will start by moving here and shooting this guy. Auto fire. He kind of moves into position and just like plants the shield while he's got the gun in place. So he's kind of using the shield to brace his gun.
Mm-hmm.
There's the attack.
Okay, let me see that roll. Okay, so keep in mind, at that second shot, if you'd rolled a 2, it would have been a fumble that would have broken the weapon.
Okay.
So just a heads up, the next time you shoot, a 3, 2, or 1 will be a fumble that breaks the weapon. And then it continues to go up until it's dead. Okay. So that'll hit, and you would have hit by, how far away are you?
That was 8 meters, so I'm in the 20 range.
That will miss, actually. You have a 20 to hit. No other bonuses.
Oh, wait a second. Sorry, I thought I was going off the table I saw on the... I actually have more movement. I could have moved to a better position.
Go ahead.
So what? That's the 13 to 25 is what I want. So... yeah, right about there. Which would have been 1, 2. That would have been 3 squares of movement.
Sorry, getting horrifying news right now in DMs. I just looked over and saw it about 10 minutes ago. Friend of Tyler's, who's also in our Discord. I don't think that she's in here. Says Tyler's reason for missing is very sound, and everybody keep them in your thoughts.
Oh my God.
I don't know how bad it is. I just asked why. But yeah, he wasn't able to make it because of a very good reason. Okay. Love you, Tyler. Please be okay. All right. If you catch this, probably not. But if you do, please be okay. Okay. So sorry, Siege. You move. You shoot. You got the right distance away. Make sure you're keeping your eyes on your charts. I understand. It's fine. We'll let it go. You would have beaten this DV then by 3. So that will be 3 times 8. That'll obliterate him.
That would have been 3 times 13.
Yeah, because, right. Well, spot weakness is included already in there. What else is added? Oh, the 5. Yeah.
It's got 5
And
velocity.
it's not 3 times 13. The 5 adds after the auto fire rolls.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's 3 times 8 plus 5.
It's more than 25 is the point. And that'll kill him.
Okay. And then
second action.
I've got 3 more squares of movement. So 1, 2, 3.
Oh, and
so I can get the field range on this guy.
The box on this is down 20. You fired it twice, so you got 60 left.
Yep. Let's see. I'm just trying to get... Is that still going to put that other guy in the crossfire if I get like all the way back in this corner?
I would say that your best bet is to just go for the guy who's on fire.
Oh, okay.
And you're already locked in on the perfect range for an auto fire shot on him.
Yeah, so I'll just go ahead and open up on him.
Neil.
Ciao.
Yeah, definitely. So you obliterate him as well. Let me double check your roll here. Yep, you rolled.
Yeah,
7.
I didn't fail.
Yeah. Well, the main thing is if you rolled because this is your fourth time shooting.
Yeah.
Third time shooting. So 4 or 3 or 2 or 1 would have burned the barrel. Okay. For flavor, as you're kind of like obliterating this guy and parts of him are falling off, you just see like a flash of red and his head flies off. He falls to the ground like on fire. All the parts of him are on fire. There's just death and fire in that area. This guy right here is going to run. And Morgan, he makes it to this spot here, which he's back there. It's going to have to be a ricochet shot. You don't know what's on the other side of this building because your angles kind of the situation it is, but you can kind of hit a ricochet shot on him if you do go for it next turn. Anastasia will come out of this box holding a lady in a lab coat. She has her pistol kind of like to his head, and she's kind of like taking him or taking her towards the door you started from. The tiger claws are kind of looking curiously at her, and she kind of just like looks at them like and shakes her head like don't concern yourself kind of look and attitude. Vix, you are up. You're inside the box. When you come out, you see everything as described. It looks like the only place that you haven't really explored is this spot here.
I'm trapped.
Oh, you can't move?
No.
That's going to be 3 squares. You still have 5 more to go.
Okay. Alright. This one's dead. That's the tiger claw. What's the red dot again? I'm sorry, I couldn't see what you were doing.
Oh,
That's the only thing we haven't
this door,
discovered yet.
this door here, yeah.
Okay, you want me to go look at that door?
Well, that's where you would want to go because they locked it, so they seem to be kind of keeping something defended in there.
Alright.
When you test the door, it is locked. It seems like there's a lock on the other side. You got 2 options. You can use your action to roll pick lock, or you could try and break the handle and the lock mechanism. The monowire is the best tool you have for that kind of operation.
I was gonna go for the monowire.
Okay. If you're using your action, I'm gonna go ahead and say rule of cool. You kind of just cut the door handle open and then kind of like reach in with the wire and kind of like just scoop out the works, and the door opens at your like foot kick. Inside, you see kind of menacing looking scene. You see a guy in like a blue kind of tracksuit kind of turn and look at you, smoking a cigarette. Fuck. And then you see a guy who's like dressed in like very bone sawy kind of like cut him up kind of gear, and he kind of looks over at you. In the corner, you see the person you're trying to get. It looks like she's been beaten the shit out of. Like she's got bruises, blood coming out of her nose, and she's just like in the corner, kind of looks up at you, and you can see as she kind of like looks up at you, her neck, it looks like there's a massive spike that has been jammed into her sockets, like her data shard sockets. It looks like somebody just like took a big knife effectively and just like jammed it into her machinery.
Oh, you wanted the duck, right?
Yeah, the tiger claw says.
Okay.
You have no action. Riff, you're up.
Yeah. I'll go that way, I guess.
Okay.
Is it safe to assume I can hop over this?
You can go
center
around
block
it. It's not
Around.
terribly hard to do. Space-wise, you'll get there in the same movement. It's cool.
Gotcha. Yeah, and then
When this guy sees you come around, do you pull your gun out and kind of like point it at him?
Yeah, I've got my gun out.
He kind of raises his hands up. You see he's got the cigarette in his hand. He says, "Hey, we don't have to make this hostile."
Okay. Let's see. Just trying to measure, make sure I didn't fuck up on my movement. It's 5. I guess I have enough to get in.
He says, "Hey, we don't have to make this hostile." And you're kind of like heat of the moment. If you want to pull the trigger, you can. But he's kind of like, he's got his hands up and he's saying,
Fuck it, I'll shoot him in the head.
"Okay."
Yeah.
Okay. So as you kind of rush forward and you put the gun up, he's like, "Hey, we don't have to make this hostile." You're like, "Fuck you," and pull the trigger. You see his body kind of shift to the side, and then in response to you shooting him, his hands come up in like a blur of motion, grab your pistol and put it into his hand, and he puts it back into your face. I said we didn't have to make this hostile. Riff, you're
Everything's
done.
possible.
Morgan, you're up. You're gonna take the bank shot and get the last guy?
Yep. Okay. No.
Okay. You're like waiting for the squish? Nothing. All right. And that's the 3rd round, right? Or 4th?
3rd.
Yep. Then it'll go to the Tiger Claws. Blanca! Just double handguns into the last remaining scab. And then she kind of looks at her kind of curiously and starts asking questions. Her and Anastasia appear to be having a kerfuffle. And then the other guy, or the girl rather, she bolts. And Morgan, you would see her as like this bright red flashing flare kind of chasing around after that guy. Like she literally moves 26 squares, like however many, or 26 meters, like in one round. She's just bolting after them. Okay. Siege, you are up. It does sound like there's a firefight kind of going on inside of the space in there.
Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squares of movement will put me right here. I'm going to use my action to put my 4 points in the bodyguard.
Okay. Now, here's an interesting situation. You put your 4 points in the bodyguard. That's your action. What would have been funny, though, we would have had a very interesting part of the rules. If your next turn is you shoot at the guy, but then he uses his redirect NPC perk to make the shot go to somebody near him. You're shooting Riff, but then you're redirecting to you, which means you're just like, I don't know why this is happening, but it's happening. Okay, so you kind of like get ready to jump in the way as you kind of move in. And he says, hey, we don't have to make this hostile. We do not have to make this hostile. You're here for her. That's fine. So am I. And
Get
Who the
lost.
fuck are you?
And fuck this guy too. No, we gotta talk. Serious.
Fine.
He looks at Riff. Have you heard
Give
of
him
G?
the gun back.
G?
Have you heard of G? He says. Gonna cut from you and we're gonna go to the scabs. The doctor kind of like looks at you all and kind of steps forward. And you see him pull a razor blade out of his pocket and place it up against her throat. Worm kind of goes, ah! And he says, hey, motherfucker, if you want the girl alive, I suggest you fuck off. I'll let her leave after a day. In what state she's in. And that's where we're going to cut from him and go to Amelia. She leaves. She leaves with the girl that she has. You have no idea what she's here for, but that's what happens. She takes that girl and leaves. Vix.
It's so helpful.
Who? Nasaja? She was super helpful. She had the cool camera. She was here. Oh,
Alright.
I almost said something terrible.
So,
I almost said more helpful than Red Tail. Oh,
stop it! You stop it right now!
I'm sorry, I'm gonna give him an IP even though he wasn't
Park
here.
alone.
Okay. So Vix, what are we doing? The situation is
Okay,
it's been
so-
detailed.
Alright, so she'll poke her head in and look over at the doctor and be like, look, you can walk out the door, just leave her the fuck alone.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm reading. He's doing okay. You guys, he's doing okay.
Okay, good.
Cool. I'm obviously not gonna get too much into the details. Not my business to do so. If he wants to tell you about it, he can. So, Vix, what did you say? Sorry, I apologize.
So I poke my head in and I'm like, you can walk out the door, just leave her the fuck alone.
No, you can walk out the door. Leave me the fuck alone. I'll send her out after a day. And the guy who's kind of like holding the overture turns the gun around and hands it back to Riff and looks at you and says, I don't want to be hostile with you. I do want to be hostile with him.
That's fair.
Riff, do you grab the pistol?
Yeah, so question.
Yeah.
I know we can aim shot for the head. Can I aim shot for like his hand to try to get
Yeah,
the
you can aim shot for
razor blade away
anything. You can aim shot
Okay,
for anything. If you're shooting his hand to kind of get the razor blade out of his hand, go ahead and take the shot. -8 to the roll. You're in Rio Bravo range, so +3 to your attack roll. Take the shot.
They just want him alive.
Yeah.
They
Boom.
didn't
You
say
shoot
what
his hand
condition.
clean the fuck off. Glittering overture, you kind of like grab it, look at the guy, then look straight at the fucking doctor. The hand explodes. Oh, fucking shit! And he drops to the side, and you can see where
I
I'm kind of,
told you!
you can see where I'm kind of like her head kind of like fall back as she like passes out from exhaustion and like, you know, trauma. And the guy kind of looks at you and says, "Damn, good shot." And he puts his hands back up. He does not like act like this is casual. He's still acting very,
Alright.
you know, submissive.
Yeah, I'll just kind of walk past him to go check on Worm.
All right. Morgan, you're up above. You have a couple of options. You can see that the tiger claws in the courtyard, they appear to be like going on comms, and they move back into the building. You then hear shooting happening inside of the building. It sounds like a few floors down from where you are. You're pretty sure it had to do with the tiger claw netrunner. Whatever he's gotten onto has caused another kind of problem inside the building. You can maintain overwatch position here for your friends who are inside the building, or you can try to get to the other side of the building and see what Anastasia is doing.
Probably keep eyes on whatever the fuck she's doing, because there is no info on that.
Okay. You see her get out to the front yard, like where we started, and like kind of drop her down, and then spin her around so that she's flat on her belly on the ground. She pulls a pair of handcuffs out of her pocket and puts them on her, and says,
Who is doing this to who?
"This is Anastasia, the Red Megan." Kind of lifts her up and says something in her ear, and then slams her face back into the concrete. You can tell it's like a pretty meaty thunk, probably a broken nose, possibly some teeth are now out of her mouth, the doctor. And then she kind of stands up, pulls out her agent. She has like a phone, and then like hits it. From this distance, most people wouldn't be able to tell what like the icon is, but your kind of eagle-eyed perception, you see that she just rang NCPD. And then she puts that into her pocket after like a short conversation and walks back into the building.
You know what? They're coming. They came back into the.
She moved
alley.
them outside of the building. She moved her outside of the building to the other side of the building and dropped her off there. So she appears to have at least some concern for the job. She just seems to have been doing something on her own.
All right.
Do you keep an eye on that, or do you check to see where she's going and when she goes inside?
I'll keep Overwatch on our exit, I guess. Make sure.
Okay.
Do I know if this? Hold on. How do I get this? Do I know if this person ever called up or no?
The what?
This person,
The person?
the Katana girl.
Oh, they went into the building, and they are fighting something inside of the building. So there's a firefight going on inside the building with tiger claws versus presumably scabs.
Okay.
So you're
Yeah.
listening in on that. It definitely sounds like from the yelling in Japanese that they're probably winning. Yeah. Presumably.
Yeah.
It sounds more like elated, kind of like yelling, not so much like a "oh god, you got me" kind of situation. It's more of a "yeah, fuck all of you, bring all your stupid fucking" kind of situation.
Yeah, I guess we'll just keep Overwatch, see if any scabs try to escape, and then pick them all.
Okay. So I'd say that as you're kind of doing that, in the next kind of beat, you're going to be aware that NCPD is going to be kind of coming up on the situation with an AV, trauma team AV, and a small NCPD AV. 2 patrolmen get out of the AV and kind of move over to the body and check it, and then trauma team comes out, picks up the girl, puts her in the trauma team AV, and both AVs take off. And this happens without anybody in the courtyard ever knowing it happened, because once this guy's head splattered and Riff, you move over to
I didn't kill him. I shot his hand off.
Oh, yeah. No, sorry. Yeah, he's definitely dying. Like as he's laying there, like if someone doesn't like provide first aid, he is going to bleed out on the ground. Like you
Oh, I
blew
got
a
you.
man's hand off.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, Siege would
What do
just
I
like
got?
walk over and put the edge of his shield like on the guy's throat and just hold him down.
Yeah, if you want him to die, he is going to die. That
No,
is just a
hold on.
natural process that happens in this time.
And as he's doing that, he looks down at him and says in Russian, "I said I'm
I'll
the
do-
devil."
I'll do first aid.
No, it doesn't sound like Siege is going to let that be the case. The doctor is dying. Do you try to
No,
fix
but
him?
he's the one that we wanted.
He
Yeah.
is. It's a good memory.
He's
So Vix, you kind of like push Siege off. You're like, "Fuck you!
All right. He's a dick. We got it.
I don't care about your Russian bullshit." And she reaches down, pulls out like some gauze and stuff, and like bandages him up. You-
Sorry.
You stop the bleeding.
He needs to be alive when we give them to him. He doesn't need to stay that way, but he needs to at least be alive when we give him over.
You stop the bleeding.
I'm-
Riff, you're checking
Sorry, I
out
thought
where
we were here for the girl.
the spikes.
Yeah, we're here for the girl, but I made a deal with the idiots out there.
The spike is connected to a bunch of wires. It looks like there's 6 kind of like on the back battery pack of the thing. And they all kind of like go across the room. One seems to be attached to the wall, and the rest of them are attached to this very strange device kind of here in the center of the room, which then in itself is attached to a bunch of like hard drives. And the hard drives in question, you're kind of like, huh. Very bargain bin hard drives, but you recognize the stack here as similar to Tin Man's basement layer. And there's a laptop, and the screen is flashing with code, just like you saw before, and kind of flaring in the middle is the letter G. And the guy kind of looks over at you and says, "Do you understand now?"
I think so.
No.
He kind of looks over at you. "If you're familiar with G, it's a problem we've been having, and I'm trying to deal with it. A lot of folks in my department aren't terribly interested in the matter, but I've been doing what I can to infiltrate. Very poor timing on your part, because I'm pretty sure he's aware that he's been found out at this point." And then, Riff, do you kind of pull the plug on her? Or are you going to move towards that or something?
Yeah, I don't know much about it, but
He kind of walks over to you, kind of places his hand on your shoulder. "Don't give it a second. Hold on. She's in a deep dive against her will. The program will fall itself out. Once it's done, we can unplug her. She should be okay. But if you pull her now, she's going to die.
okay.
Unfortunately, this time he gets what he wants, and the doctor's not going to be alive to be able to make sure that the report's confirmed." And Vix is like, "Fuck that. Yeah, he is."
Yeah, he is.
Gonna be alive till the tiger claws get here at least.
The guy kind of looks at you and says, "Huh." Scratches his head. "Well, do you mind if I borrow him for a minute?"
I mean,
I
as
mean,
long as you don't kill
yeah,
him,
just
tiger
don't
claws
kill
one of them
him.
alive.
He kind of grabs him up off the ground. You see him kind of stop for a second, like he's about to do it, and then he kind of looks at Siege and says, "Do you mind if you help me move this guy?"
Sure.
And he moves him over
Kind of
to this
Get
position,
away.
sits him
Yeah.
down in the chair, and then basically says, "Okay, make sure that G's satisfied. The data will be done through, and don't let him disconnect. I need a SIG." And the guy's like, "Fuck you, man. I'm not turning
I mean,
over."
I can take the band-aids back.
Okay.
Is there
I'll do it. And then he kind of like leans in and like makes sure he stays in close. This guy you don't know the name of, and he's like the tracksuit that he's wearing, everything that he's wearing, like the full garb. It's absolutely 100% like as you're thinking about it, Vix. Like this man is so undercover cop.
Yeah.
Like it's annoying. And
Yeah, I feel like, could you be more obvious, dude?
100%. And so whatever happens between the two, it happens, and the guy's like, "All right, Good. I'm done with him. And you see, like, the cop has placed a cyber deck on the table and plugged it into the hard drive stations and seems to be kind of doing something with those. And he kind of nods his head. Good, good, good. Well, you almost fucked it up, but you definitely helped in the end. I really appreciate it. You're Riff, right?
Yeah.
He kind of reaches forward and shakes your hand.
Yeah, shake his hand.
My name is Bart. Bart Jarvis. I'm with Special Investigations.
That's not your real name. That can't be your real name.
My name's Bart Jarvis. He shrugs. The fuck's your name?
God. Why would I tell you?
Bart Harley Jarvis. That's what my mom named me when I was born.
I'm sorry about that.
Fuck you.
I'm Vic.
All right. Well, not much a better name on that one. Go fuck yourself. But thank you for your help. I really appreciate it.
I
Names
don't
aside.
need to do that.
I'm fair enough. He shrugs. I'm assuming you're going to be taking the girl, he says. And then he kind of says, you can unplug her now if you want there, rocker boy.
Yeah, I'll unplug her.
And she should be good to go. But you need her, right?
Yeah.
He checks his phone. What the fuck? Huh. Well, NCPD just hit a hit right outside. Seems they picked somebody up. He puts his phone in his pocket. You wouldn't mind coming in for some questioning, would you? Or if you do, I mean, fuck it, you helped. You don't need to do anything you don't want to do.
Siege is gonna kind of lean over and say to Vix, "You have everything under control here. I'm
Yeah.
going to I'm gonna go help the Tiger Claws."
All right. Don't
And then he
get
kind of
shot.
moves out and starts kind of making his way through the building, trying to see if he can give them a hand.
Okay. Bart will say to Riff, if you don't want to answer any questions, it's fine. I understand. I'm assuming you got this job from somebody like a fixer named Hungry or something.
I mean, I got the job. Who
Oh.
from? I can't really tell you.
Yeah, no, street rules. I get it. Sorry, kid. Didn't mean to. Obviously, you're not going to talk to the pig, right?
Nah, I
But
don't do too good in police stations.
what I'd like for you to do is, I've been looking for this G for a while. Really been causing me a lot of problems in my department, especially with some of the people that he's been associated, or she, whatever this person is, G, has been associating with in Sin. Had a little bit of a shakeup over the last couple of months. I need some outside help. If you can, whoever your fixer on this was, or whoever you have as a fixer that you might trust, kind of hand you his card. Let him know Bart Jarvis would like to meet up. Just a conversation. Wherever they want to meet up would be fine.
Yeah, I'll pass it along.
And I appreciate your help on this. I think we got the tracing data, so he kind of lifts up the cyber deck. If you're in the room, which would be just Vix and Riff at this point, go ahead and make a perception check. Riff doesn't notice. Vix, when you see him kind of pull up the cyber deck and like look at it and then shut it, you would see that there's like a small, like weird digitized map of Night City, and it looks like there's a ping point. And I'm gonna go ahead and notate that on the map here for you. It looks like that ping point is coming from. Oh, hold on. Right here. Oh, I gotta move the map. Hold on. Right here. Not right near GNMM Entertainment and 54. This spot here.
Okay. that mean anything?
That location doesn't mean shit to you. You're not a downtown person. That's not for you to ever care about. Fuck downtown. It's a shithole, and there are no good parties. I mean, I guess Seventh Hell's cool, but like not like it's not Toten Taz. Fuck it. But yeah, it's in Corpo land. It's in downtown. It's definitely outside your pay grade. But if you want to pass that information along to whoever, you can after the gig.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, if you let him, Bart Jarvis will fuck the fuck off and just leave.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Later, Bart.
Siege, when you catch up with the Tiger Claws, you find them on the fourth floor of this 8-story building, covered in blood. Like the girl who was wearing the white suit, Shiroi, she is covered with blood. Like everybody just has blood all over them, but they don't look like they're wounded at all. Like minor scratches here and there. And the Netrunner is kind of in the box and like doing his stuff. He appears to be attached to another Netrunner who is laying on a bed, and they're kind of like doing something to that Netrunner. Cool guy, Kojima walks over to you and says, "Hey, everything go down okay down there?"
Yeah, I was just coming to see if you needed any help.
Well, we got it under
We've
control.
got the doctor secured.
Then the deal's on. I'll have my contact Vix. Was it? Actually, you want to pass me your deets? I'll just flip you mine. He send you his contact information if you want to pass it along to Vix. They'll connect.
Definitely. The chick that was with him that went through the door. Is he still connected to her?
Anastasia?
No. Was Anastasia the one that went through the door with him?
The one with the sword. Are you talking about the one with the sword?
Yeah.
Okay, not the one with the eye, right?
No, the one with the one that was basically like hand on the shoulder right behind him.
That's Anastasia.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah, she was like hand on your shoulder, Militech training, or possibly cop training. Now that we're thinking about it.
Yeah.
And then she went up to the door, looked out the door with like a small little, like effectively like a scope. On her interface plug.
Periscope.
Yeah, periscope.
Okay.
And then she is actually, you would have probably seen her as you were heading up, and she passed by you. She's heading back towards the other members of the crew, the Edrunner crew.
I got you. Yeah, he's definitely going to flick her his details.
Yep.
But then also, share his details with the Tiger Claws. He let them know, Vix is good people. Yeah, if you guys need an extra gun on something, get a hold of me.
I think most of our higher-ups think that the Mox are supposed to know their place. But the problem is that their place was here before we came around. And it's our fault. Well, it's our forebears' fault that they had any problems with us at all. So I understand. The Mox hate us. We hate the Mox back. But I prefer peace.
You did good. You upheld your end of the bargain. This information is free. Things will be changing.
We don't mind paying people to do good gigs. And Wakako probably has some. They'll kind of like, stay with their guy. It appears that whatever they're doing to this Netrunner, they're very fully invested on that happening. And when you regroup, and when everybody regroups, Anastasia will let you have her details. She's now a person you can call up if you want to have her kind of like help with certain gigs. She'll only take jobs she wants to. And she may show up as a sixth party. Again, in this job, I didn't think we needed 6 players. When it came down to it, I didn't think we needed 5. So I kind of just let it play out. Especially since you were able to talk the Tiger Claws into helping you instead of fighting them. I was kind of hoping it would be like a loaded, mine. Because Vix is like, I hate the fucking Tiger Claws.
I do.
But at the same time,
I like to be alive.
Turf wars suck, and it's better to just be like, you want to hate us, you can hate us from your side of the fucking the lines there. Totally chill. Okay. So you get Worm back. Dakota will pay out the 500. She has no bonuses. Dakota doesn't deal in bonuses. But what you do know, Morgan, is if you do a job for Dakota and you do it 100%, she's going to call you for bigger jobs. So it may not be a big stipend here, you're not getting a whole bunch of money, but it'll definitely play to better deals from her. And
Get that
then,
rep.
go ahead.
I'd like to let Dakota know about G and the whole Bart situation.
Yeah, not my problem. She would say back. I'm more focused on Nitro right now.
Yeah, I can't get a hold of her either.
Just get Worm to me as soon as you can. Go ahead and bring her out to Dakota. It's out on the highway. Morgan knows where it's located. If you want to just give Worm over to her, that'll work. Anastasia will offer to drive anybody who needs a ride back to Lizzie's or wherever you want in the greater Night City area. I believe Riff is in Watson. I think you're within walking.
I'm right next to Lizzie's.
You're literally in walking distance of this whole fight. This is the first time you've had to go to your house from here. And it may not be the last. And then, Siege, do you get a ride with Anastasia?
Yeah.
Okay, she'll drop you off at Lizzie's if that's where you want to go. And she'll not really do much conversation in the car. She's not a talker.
Well, when she drops him off, he asks her if she wants to get a drink.
No thanks, cowboy, she says. And she'll close the door and drive off. But there's like a
Drives off,
flirtation.
and he's like, I'm not a cowboy.
There's like a flirtatious way that she says it. So like, it's definitely not like 100% never. It's definitely just like a
Oh
no,
yeah,
not right
definitely.
now.
She's very on the job.
Yeah. And then Riff, you get back home, no problem. Vix, you get back to Lizzie's. Morgan, you drop off the package. Dakota and her crew take her to a back room, and that's the last you see of her. And yeah, a little bit shorter of a series, but I think packed with content and a lot of cool little string tying situations there. I will have a full write up before my leavings, giving an idea as to what goes on between Dakota and Worm, and the aftermath of this and the end of this series. Thanks for watching, those that did. And we will probably not be seeing us for a while. We'll be gone for a little bit. I think May will probably be the next time that we'll be playing again. So look forward to that. And I'll see you then. When we pick up the pickup series on 2.1. See you then.